Welcome to Broken Tusk Rising, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition actual play in the Galarian campaign setting. We're playing through the Quest for the Frozen Flame adventure path.
I'm Jessica, and I'm playing Zancath, the Halfling Fighter.
This is Josh, and I'm playing Corgo, the Human Barbarian.
I'm Ashley, and I play Aklep the Druid, a former member of the Burning Mammoth.
Welcome back to Broken Tusk Rising, House of Bob's actual play of Paizo's Quest for the Frozen Flame, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition adventure path. We've finished Book 1, Broken Tusk Moon, and we're about to start Book 2, Lost Mammoth Valley. In Book 1, we followed the adventures of 4 members of the Broken Tusk following as they became scouts and blazed the trail for their following when it was attacked by another following, the Burning Mammoths. One member of the Broken Tusks, an impetuous man named Guano, joined the Burning Mammoths, and the Broken Tusks fled eastward. The Broken Tusk leader, Grandfather Iowa, told the scouts the tale of the primordial flame on his deathbed. This artifact was a gift from Sister Cinder, the god also known as Sarenrae, and was capable of bringing abundance to the frozen tundra. Long ago, the Broken Tusks were part of the Burning Mammoth following, and they protected the primordial flame and used it in harmony with nature. When the Age of Lost Omens began, and the World Wound opened, flooding the eastern lands with demons, some of the Burning Mammoths hid the primordial flame in the cave of the magical cat, known as Ciarstic. This enraged the rest of the Burning Mammoths, who wanted to use the flame to fight the demons. They marched east to fight the demons without the flame, and without the group that became known as the Broken Tusk following. A Burning Mammoth warrior known as Metuak returned from the war, killing Ciarstic the tiger and seizing the primordial flame. Ciarstic told the scouts that Metuak had the heart of a demon. Perhaps he was possessed or shared his body with a demon. Ciarstic cursed Metuak, and now whoever wields the primordial flame cannot be parted from it without suffering terrible anguish. Metuak then headed somewhere to the east. The heroic scouts of the Broken Tusk following resolved to carry out Iowa's dying wish, that they would find and retrieve the artifact. They used a star map in Ciarstic's cave to find the route to Lost Mammoth Valley, which was part of the old Burning Mammoth Trail, followed for centuries by the migrating group. The scouts led the Broken Tusk following further to the east through several exciting and ridiculous encounters, eventually arriving at the pass leading to Lost Mammoth Valley. The Burning Mammoths pursued them, but fell farther and farther behind as the scouts covered their tracks and misled the Burning Mammoths. Guano and the other Burning Mammoth scouts raced ahead and tried to stop the Broken Tusks in the pass leading to Lost Mammoth Valley. The leader of the Burning Mammoths, Ivarsa, made a brief appearance using a fireball to cause an avalanche, but the Broken Tusk following managed to make it through the pass in time. Guano disappeared just before the avalanche filled the area with snow and rubble. The avalanche will further slow the Burning Mammoths, and now the Broken Tusks have a large enough lead that they can be a bit more careful about their future movements. You guys did a lot, didn't you?
We did a lot.
Yeah, we did. That was a good summary, too.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I appreciate you doing that, not just for me, but when I'm listening to a lot of campaigns, I don't know what's going on half the time. Like, sometimes I won't have listened for a month, and I'm like, what is it they're doing again?
Yeah.
I don't remember. So it happened to me with, like, Glass Cannon recently. I was like, why are they fighting a druid fortress again? I don't remember. And then, but it's kind of whatever.
Especially with it being book 2.
Right.
Like, there may be people who jump in here instead of listening to the book 1 section.
Right. And there have been listeners who have specifically said that they are a little confused about what's going on and they have trouble remembering. We need to recap more often. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to do a thorough recap.
That was me on my burner account.
So that makes sense. I knew
know
it.
What's going on.
All right. Well, thanks, Josh. We have a couple items of housekeeping to take care of. First, we have lost 2 players, Sean and Jeanette. We don't need to go into the reasons why. They were allegations, all of which I deny categorically, but we'll leave that alone.
The rest of us are still on good terms, so,
That's right. Or you just haven't discovered any evidence that would incriminate me.
I knew it.
Sean and Jeanette might be popping in from time to time to play Andreas and Jonesy, but they will not be regular players. We're all going to miss Jonesy's antics and Sean's Pathfinder knowledge, of course. We will all need to step up in terms of knowing the rules. Sorry, folks.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. The good news is that we have gained Ashley. Hi, Ashley.
Yay!
Hey!
Yay! And we might be getting a fourth player soon, but more details on that in maybe a few sessions.
Why is that such a mystery? What's going on here?
Well, it'll be a surprise.
Oh my gosh, you always do that.
You want me to stop doing that?
No, it's better this way. It just hurts.
Oh. All right, well, eventually you'll find out who that is. Yes, I will be adjusting the difficulty to reflect the fact that you're down to just 3 player characters.
I'm making it harder.
Yeah, now's my chance. Second, I'd like to hear from Josh and Jessica about what happened when Korgo the Barbarian and Zancath the former fighter achieved 4th level. Jessica in particular has made some big changes to Zancath, and we'll hear about Ashley's character later. So anything exciting you want to share? Josh, you want to go first?
Sure. Korgo's level 4, gets more hit points. Armor class doesn't seem to be going up very quickly, so I plan to be going down just as often as before.
Okay.
He took the mature animal companion, special class, this level up thingy. So Hrangar is now a mature animal companion, and he's much stronger than before, and that will be cool. The other piece of it, other than all the stats going up, is that even when Korgo doesn't command Hrangar to do anything, they can still take 1 action every combat
that's
round.
nice.
So that will be nice. So that helps when Korgo's raging and he can't technically command an animal because of the trait that action has. Hrangar can still do something. So that's cool. So that's basically, those are the good things.
Okay, cool. Jessica, you've got a lot to talk about.
Mike, in his generosity, has allowed me to respec Zancath. Fighter just wasn't working. I was not having a lot of fun with it. And so I have respec'd her as a rogue, straight rogue. So there is a lot that's happening there, and I'm sure stuff will come up, but there's a lot of feats. There's a lot of stuff that comes with rogue. So
Yeah.
I'm sure things will come up as we go.
We're going to have to talk some about the rules for stealth, and it'll be interesting. Yeah, it's a little strange that, in first edition Pathfinder, an archer build could be really dangerous, but at least at these low levels, it really didn't seem like there was a lot for a bow-focused fighter to do.
There wasn't a lot to do, and even when I did hit, which didn't seem to be much, but that's more on my rolling than anything, I just didn't do any damage, so it just felt so pointless.
Underwhelming, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Pathfinder First Edition, ranged characters typically did the most damage, so it's a big change. And Hrangar's class change makes a lot of sense for her backstory, because she's like...
Hrangar's? You mean Zancath?
No, sorry, not Hrangar. Yeah,
Hrangar's a cleric now.
Works here.
I didn't know Hrangar had a backstory.
It's elaborate. We can't go into it right now.
Zancath's backstory really works as she's like unleashing her past. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I kind of think of it as she was trying to be something else for a while, and that wasn't working, and so she's just fallen back on her old routines at this point.
Makes sense. All right, we'll hear about Ashley's character shortly. One other housekeeping item. There is a problem with the dates. I know it may seem ridiculous, but as you know, I've been carefully tracking the dates using the Hexploration rules. We tracked them all the way through the first book. And according to my records, it is the 2nd of Erodus, which is equivalent to August in the year 4728 AR. The problem is that the second book of the Adventure Path says explicitly that it assumes we're starting way back in Serenith, or June, 2 months ago. I'm not sure how in the world that would be possible, because we started right around the night of the Green Moon, which was the vernal equinox back in Ferrist or March, and then you went all the way across both hex maps, and they expected you to have done that in 4 months, but I just don't see how that would be possible. You went in a direct line with almost no distractions, and it took you 6 months. In that first book, dates didn't specifically matter, so maybe they don't matter here. But the second book of this adventure path is very clear. It starts in Serenith. So I'm going to ask you what you want to do. I'm going to evade responsibility here and make you decide. Do you want to retroactively change the continuity or retcon what has happened and say that we're actually in Serenith or June? Or do you want to go with a record recreated from Book 1 and say we're in Eridus or August?
I think go with Serenith just to avoid problems with, like, if it should be important in this book, we're not going to run into that.
Okay. You guys think that's okay?
I highly doubt any listeners, were marking their calendar.
No,
Because I certainly was not.
We've decided like half of them are carefully tracking their time with us.
Okay.
Yeah, at least half.
At least half.
At least half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know that it will matter. It's just that I would hate to get to the third book and it says, well, since you've been playing according to the calendar, it's now the middle of winter, and of course there's snow everywhere, and we're, according to our calendar, we're in the middle of summer. So I guess, okay, we'll go with it somehow is Serenith. So I guess it's the 2nd of Serenith. All right, so we're back in June.
That's fine with me.
Okay, so we start this book with the following having continued down the pass and reached a large cave opening. You know that this cave must lead to Lost Mammoth Valley. Now that the flight from the burning mammoths has ended, for the moment at least, it is finally time for Falcon House to fill the leadership vacuum left by the death of Grandfather Ewa. There are several candidates, including Jonesy, due to his age and experience. He and Andreas will remain with the following and help with this, as well as generally shore up the defenses of the camp. Of course, Rumpy the direwolf will stay with Jonesy as well. Greta the bull moose is also back with the following, as moose don't particularly like caves. You do have Hrungara with you, of course. Zancath and Korgo, you stand at the cave mouth, surveying the area. Light from outside fills the first cavern, and though the temperature outside is comfortable, you can feel drafts of chilly air coming from out of the cave. Small piles of snow lie in heaps near the entrance. Inside, guano, skittering insects, and ice mark the rocky ground. Multiple wide tunnels exit this first cavern, and while the ceiling is 25 feet above the ground in the entry area, you can see that it's only 15 feet high in the tunnels. As you survey the entrance, Letsua comes walking up with a familiar figure close behind him, coming from the camp. It's Aklep, the former Burning Mammoth hunter, who was horribly burned by Pacano and left for dead. Letsua smiles at you and gestures at the cave entrance. Well, scouts, you've had a day to rest, but it's time for you to get back to work. We need you to find a safe path through the caves into Lost Mammoth Valley and make the cave safe so that we are not ambushed. We'll be camped right outside if you need anything. You're down 2 scouts, so I've brought Aklep to help you. He's proven very helpful around the camp. Not especially talkative, of course. Right, my friend? Not a peep out of them on the way here, right? Well, Aklep steps forward. He has healed as much as is possible from his burns, but he is nonetheless horribly scarred. His red skin still looks raw and sensitive, and his face is permanently disfigured. He barely has lumps where his ears should be. I refer you to Sean's excellent art.
So good.
Does anyone want to add anything to my description?
One eyebrow. There is still one eyebrow.
He does have one eyebrow, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or part of one
very
eyebrow.
Nice detail.
Part of one eyebrow, yeah. It's a good detail.
He looks friendly.
He's got like even the clothes is really cool detail. He's got like a bone that's like used
clip?
It's like
It's
the
like-
button for the scarf
Yeah.
thing here, and some cool like metallic
Discs.
Yeah, that are decorating a shoulder guard there. It's very, very, very cool.
All right, well, thanks, Sean, for doing that. Aklep's face is expressionless, or maybe he just can't easily form expressions anymore. He stares at Letsua, and Letsua gulps, then looks at Zancath, and then at Korgo, and then back to Aklep, and says, Yes, well, I'll leave you to it.
Thank you, Letsua. I'm sure it would be helpful having another person around. Thank you so much.
Oh, not at all. I've got things to do, so I'll be leaving. Goodbye. And he turns and walks quickly back to the camp. And Aklep looks at you. Ashley, is there anything you'd like to tell us about Aklep's appearance or equipment or anything?
I think we described Aklep.
I'll add that he's wearing leather armor. I think he has a fur cloak, doesn't he? Let's look at his
I
equipment.
sure hope so. It's really cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a fur-lined cloak
Oh,
listed under your equipment.
I don't remember getting that.
Well, I think I added it because I sprinkled in a few minor magic items to match you up with everyone else.
Ah, thank you.
So this is your coyote cloak.
Cool. Cool.
Aklep doesn't appear well armed. He has only a dagger and a hide shield and an atlatl with several large darts. I guess for listeners who don't know, an atlatl is like an extender, an arm extender that can be used to make a spear or a dart that is thrown go much farther. Pretty cool to use if you ever get a chance to use one. I highly recommend it. It feels almost like magic the way it works.
Yeah, they're awesome.
As Aklep stands there, a small figure steps out from behind him. Is that what it looks like as a figure? Or what does it look like? This thing you've got with you.
He's like charcoal, like a creature made of charcoal with some, like burning charcoal. So it kind
Cool.
of glows with fire.
Wow. Humanoid shaped? Or just a flame?
Not really humanoid shaped, just kind of wild lump.
A weird shifting lump of charcoal.
It has appendages, but not like a face.
Bipedal? I guess? I don't know. Does it walk on two legs, or does it just sort of shamble around?
He can do
Float.
both.
Okay.
He can run. He gets on all fours.
Okay. All right. So it's a weird charcoal-like monster with seams of light and fire visible that is sort of standing behind Aklep. You haven't seen this before.
Oh,
Hey.
interesting.
What is that? What is that?
Grifka,
Oh, what is Grifka?
companion, and Aklep motions towards Hrungara.
Oh, okay. I see. So you've got like a little baby Sister Cinder. Where's this? So I'm looking at art. What art is this?
So we don't have art for this yet. I have sort of like a
I see.
placeholder art for basically it looks like a little fire elemental.
I got you. It's so cute. The art token I'm currently looking at is so adorable.
Yeah, I
It's-
didn't want Aklep's creature to be that cute.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think it almost is like, if this is a Disney movie, this works really well. I mean, juxtaposed between Aklep and like a cute fireball thing. Anyway. All right. I will wait. Before forming a permanent mental image, I will not look at this too much longer. Then.
Yeah, maybe we can get Sean to do a... Although it's supposed to be... Is it small now, or is it medium-sized?
Well, it's a mature companion, so I think
Yeah.
they're bigger, right?
Oh, yeah, they are bigger. Like Hungara
I was
is
going to
bigger
say, it would be cool if one of the animal creature companions were not bigger than me, but here we are.
there. Yep. Somehow, mysteriously, Aklep has this fiery creature accompanying him, and he says that it's named Grifka, and without much additional explanation.
Yeah. Right. Totally know what a Grifka is.
I'm sure that will be helpful in the cave. Excellent. Yes.
Oh, does it light up?
It's fire,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I would say it's probably equivalent to like a torch.
Oh, that's great. Oh, excellent.
When Corko asks if it lights up, Aklep looks at Grifka to get Grifka to like flare up and be more flamey.
Yeah. Yeah, so the cracks get brighter, and maybe a flame dances across the creature, and yeah, it produces light.
That is so cool. Rungar, how come you can't do anything cool like that?
Rungara tilts her head and looks at you, and then starts washing his paws.
See. Come on. Flame on.
You return your attention to the entrance to this cave system. There are patches of ice and snow at the entrance. From your current position, you can see that there is probably a passage to your left, and possibly one straight ahead. I'll assume that Zancath has her torch lit for the moment.
Yes.
Is it a magical torch, or do you have a regular torch? I can't remember.
I think it's just a regular torch.
Regular torch. Okay.
Because, Andreas had the magical one, and I don't think he passed that off, so...
What would you like to do here at the entrance to this big cave?
I'm going to move forward just to get a better look at what we're looking at. So, yeah. Path going straight, probably a path to the left.
So Zancath steps forward next to a patch of ice and looks into the cavern, and she confirms that there's maybe some kind of path forward, and one branching off to the left. She can't really see around to the right.
No, not yet. If nobody says anything, I'm going to keep moving forward.
So Zancath steps onto that ice there. I need you to make an acrobatics check.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. Ice is our biggest enemy.
I should be good at this.
Wow, what a way to start off this book.
That's a nat 20 for a total of 29.
Zancath doesn't even notice that there is ice under her feet.
Man, so
and
smooth.
simply, or maybe she does and skates across.
I'm going to go with that one because it sounds cooler.
That does sound cool.
All right, so she skates across the ice and easily balances, moving normally.
Yeah. So I will scoot to the other side.
Okay, you can see there are more ice patches here, and you realize that walking across them is going to require balancing when you step on these sheets of ice.
It looks like there's two different textures. So is it like there is this, which seems more ice-like, and this, which seems more snow-like?
Yes. Basically, I'm going to treat it all as ice.
Okay.
You're right that there are what appear to be frozen pools of water, and then there are patches of snow. We're going to treat them all as ice that you need to be careful on.
Okay.
As Aklep is following, is it possible for him to just walk around all of this?
Sure. As your elemental approaches, the ice actually melts under its feet.
Might be worth it just to have Grifka go first then.
Yeah.
You could do that. You could have the elemental go first if you wanted. I mean, there's nothing mechanically that says that it melts the ice as it walks around, but I think that makes sense, right? Its only attack is a fire attack. So, yes.
It makes logical sense.
Also, it doesn't seem to like stepping in the snow.
Yeah. I am not comfortable enough with Aklep yet to suggest it, so I'm just going to keep going.
Okay. So, looking into this cavernous space ahead of you, you look around and you notice that there are bats all over the ceiling, hanging upside down, undulating in waves, and then staying still. Also on the ceiling are several large stalactites. They have scratches all over them from bats climbing up and down them.
Cool.
And Aklep, as you're looking into this cavern, you notice that these stalactites look like they are no longer tightly attached to the ceiling, probably having been weakened by centuries of bat activity. You'll need to bring them down, or else they might fall on the mammoths when they try to move through.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
You also notice that there are Smilodon tracks in the snow heading east down the passage. And Zancath, you notice that too.
Okay.
Mike made some private sneaky GM rolls.
I did. I have the macro set up now.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, Aklep is pointing up because up there. We'll need to take those down.
Oh, yes. Of course. We don't want those falling on anyone.
But you've got to figure out how you're going to do that. And you can see there are bats climbing all over this ceiling.
Oh, gross. What's our guano situation?
There's lots of it.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
It reeks.
Lots of cold guano.
Gross.
Oh, band name. Okay. What can Grifka, like, I don't know. What's Grifka do? She's just throw fireballs at it?
A horde of bats?
Grifka can throw hordes of bats? That's awesome. Rogara. Put them together.
Grifka throwing fireballs would disturb hordes of bats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I knew that. Yeah. Well, I guess anything we do would disturb the bats.
Yes, I fear that is a problem. Perhaps if I could get up there, I could do something, but I'm not sure that there's any way for me to do that, especially with all the bats around.
What time of day is it? Do we want to just wait until nighttime for all the bats to leave?
Let's say it's morning, probably. Yeah.
Oh, that's not good timing at all.
Logical, but also super annoying. I've got tallow bombs, but I'm not sure we want to use them on this, or enough to do that.
Some things you can think about here. You need to try to figure out a way to remove these stalactites, and you probably want to find a way to do that without disturbing the bats. It sounds like that's what you're trying to do. You might try to examine the bats. You might try to examine the stalactites. You might, I don't know, use a skill that you've got, or you might try to find some way to, I don't know, some other way to get through. These are things you should be thinking about.
Yeah. Would like to try to use a skill. Preferably one I'm good at.
Okay, so what are you trying to do with it?
Would a nature check help? Yeah.
Sure. Especially if you want to learn something about the bats. You're watching them move around. You could roll a nature check to see if you learn something about them. I'm going to roll a secret nature check so that only I know the results. And that way, if I tell you something, like if you roll it really badly and I tell you something that's not true, you don't know if it's true or not. Okay? However, given your enormous plus 12 bonus to this roll, you're probably going to do okay.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of unfair how good Aklep is at nature.
Aklep is a druid. I don't know if we told anyone that.
No, we didn't. Aklep is a druid. Aklep, you're looking at these creatures, and you realize that these are vampire bat swarms.
Oh, of course.
Also known
Excellent.
as VBSs, but not Vacation Bible School.
Oh.
All right? So these are vampire bat swarms.
I don't know what to do with this information. What a weird knowledge check. Aklep, you are so weird.
Now, Aklep hasn't told you any of this. Aklep just realizes these are vampire bat swarms, or VBSs. And you realize that knocking loose these stalactites without cushioning their fall, and therefore producing a lot of noise, would probably disturb them. Also, you realize that mammoths stomping through would probably disturb them.
Do I know what would make a vampire bat swarm or VBS skedaddle?
What would make them leave? They probably wouldn't like smoke, you think?
Yeah.
They are swarms, which means that they are weak to area of effect spells, to splash damage, right? So if you wanted to destroy them, anything you could do that has an area of effect would be especially effective. And any regular attacks, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, would be less effective than normal. You also know that they see very well in the dark. Mind-affecting spells won't really do anything.
Would it be, I mean, we haven't gotten anywhere into this cave yet. Would it be possible for the following to go through at night when they presumably would not be in here?
You could try that. It takes a while for the following to get through, but yes, you could have them move through this area at night. That would knock stalactites down, and you'd have to worry about them falling on the following.
No. That's another problem. I was mostly just thinking of the bats. The stalactites are a different problem.
You presume they leave at night, and therefore, yes.
Okay.
You think you could probably just move the following through at night if you can get these stalactites down.
Yeah. But that's going to depend a lot on the size of this cave.
Yeah, good point.
You're pretty sure mammoths can move through this opening pretty easily.
Oh, I meant like how long it is. Like if it's a
Right.
really long cave and it's going to take them a whole day to get through versus a relatively short cave they can get through in a night.
Right.
Can we try to maybe set a fire in the back of the cave, have the smoke literally smoke out all the bats, and they just leave?
Well, one problem is that right now, cool air is blowing out of the cave. So I guess if you were to sneak in and set a fire in the cave, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Then that would probably carry the smoke toward the entrance, and if they don't like that, they might leave.
Okay, well, that's my suggestion, guys.
All right. I suppose I will give that a try. Keep an eye on me in case things go terribly, terribly wrong.
All right, so what's Zancath doing?
I'm going to sneak.
Okay.
Well, we can all sneak in there together,
I
right?
don't think that's a good idea.
Why? Aklep, aren't you? Can't you sneak?
Grifka can sneak.
I suppose I could take Grifka with me, but the lights might be a problem if I'm trying to sneak.
Rungar and I can go too.
Thinking on my nature check, I don't think Bath can see the light.
Oh, they can see. But they mostly use echolocation to
Okay.
identify things.
Yeah, how else would they read?
Corgo, I don't believe that bats in general read, but that's a generalization, so I could be incorrect.
Okay, cool. So I got something in common with bats then. Oh, we can all go in. I mean, here's the thing. There's a you know, you pointed out those tracks earlier. So if you go deep in there, you got to worry about bats, whatever left those tracks, and never split the party.
I don't disagree. Very well. We can all go. Just try to be quiet.
Would you like me to run through how stealth works?
Oh, do we have to?
I'm good, but it'd probably be good for the listeners.
It's complicated.
It is complicated.
It is a little complicated.
Yeah, do it.
There are 6 relevant conditions.
What?
Yeah.
I only know of 3.
Observed, hidden, undetected, concealed, invisible, and unnoticed. All right?
Got it.
Observed means people know where you are and can target you, right? That's what you usually are. Hidden means that you are barely perceptible. Other people know which square on the map you occupy, and they can try to hit you in that square, but in order to hit you, they have to roll a flat check, DC 11, before they even roll to attack. Right? Everyone is off guard to you if you're hidden, okay? Undetected means no one is sure where you are on the map exactly, and everyone is off guard to you. People could use a seek action. They can make a perception check to try to find the square that you're in, and that would make you hidden instead of undetected. Right? Everybody following okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you fail that check, right, if you fail that attempt to find what square someone's in, you could just select a square on the map where you think a creature might be, and you could attack that square, and then I would roll the DC 11 check and your attack roll secretly, and if you miss, I won't tell you why. It might be because you missed the DC 11 check, or because your attack missed, because there's no one in that square.
Okay.
Right? You could also be concealed. Concealed means that you're barely visible. Like, you are visible, but only barely. Like, if you're hiding in a fog cloud or behind a waterfall or in very dim light wearing dark clothing, but people can sort of see you, then you're concealed. Anyone trying to hit you has to roll a 5 or higher, a DC 5 flat check. And if they can't achieve that, then they miss. Of course, if you're invisible, then you become hidden if people were watching you, which means if people were watching you turn invisible, they say, aha, that person is invisible in that square over there, right? Unless you move, of course, in which case, now you're undetected. They don't know what square you're in. Okay? And if they weren't watching you when you turned invisible, then you're undetected then, too. Unnoticed means that people don't even know you're there. They're completely unaware of you. They're not even trying to figure out what square you're in, right? It's not going to be very relevant in this situation, being unnoticed. Okay. Any questions about that?
No.
So if someone wants to find you, if they're looking for you, then they would make, if you're hiding, right, if you're hidden, they would make a perception check against your stealth DC, which is 10 plus your stealth skill. And then if someone knows where you are, they can see you, and then you decide you're going to hide, then you creep behind something, and then you roll your stealth skill against their perception to disappear, to become hidden. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And if they want to find you again, they'd have to overcome your stealth DC. Zancath, where are you sneaking off to then?
Would it be possible for me to step there and get between the 2 sections of ice that are at the entrance of the cave?
Yes.
So I'm going to do that. So go there, and then there, and then there, and let the others...
All right, and you're trying to be stealthy?
I'm trying to be stealthy.
All right, go ahead and roll that stealth check for me. I'll let you roll that.
Okay.
And if everybody else is also being stealthy, I'll let you roll that as well.
Okay, how do I roll?
Okay, so go to your character sheet, and then the symbol that looks like a hand is your skills.
Yeah.
And then next to your stealth skill, you see a little 20-sided die. Just click that.
Dang.
Okay, so Zancath, what did you get?
18. I have a plus 11.
And Korgo?
Korgo got a 12.
Okay.
Rangara got a 31.
Wow, Rangara is silent like a cat. Aklep?
26.
And the fire elemental got...
11.
So Grifka is sort of angrily stomping through this ice and snow.
He doesn't like that it's cold.
Yeah.
Sure.
He or she?
He.
Yeah, Grifka is not happy with this and is stomping through this ice and snow and sending up steam.
It's cool.
And you are now in the cavern. You can see the bats undulating overhead. They don't seem to have taken notice of you. You haven't made any loud noise. Even Korgo is not making loud noises. He's just walking.
Can I tell how far is it just bats as far as the eye can see, or is there an end to the bats?
You see that pool to the south. The bats end somewhere around there.
Okay.
In that direction. There's a puddle to the south. And then in the other directions, as far as you can tell, to the east, you can see that the bats continue, I guess until maybe around there on the map. Do you see that indicator I just put down? And then the bats don't continue very far at all off to the left.
Okay, I can't see much that direction.
So off to the west, they basically stop. And to the east, they stop maybe, let's say 30 feet away. And to the south, they stop maybe another 30 feet away.
Okay, we're going to keep moving forward then.
What do these ominous squares?
That's
dotted
I assume
squares, is that
that's
where
stalactites.
the things are hanging down?
Those are stalactites.
Okay.
I don't like going under them, but...
Yeah. You think it's probably fine as long as you don't do anything to disturb them.
Okay, not saying anything.
So Zancath, go ahead. Stop there for the moment. Let me describe some things you see.
Okay.
There's a wide passage that you saw before heading to the east. You're pretty sure that wide passage to the east where the bat stopped after about 30 feet, the mammoths should be able to fit down that pretty easily.
Okay.
There's a more narrow passage heading up to the northwest that you just walked past. Mammoths probably couldn't get up that.
Okay.
And then you're walking down this passage to the south that you think is probably wide enough for mammoths. And there are a couple ledges on this path off to the west. You're near one to the west, and then there's another to the right. The one to the left, to the west, is about 15 feet off the cave floor, and the one to the east is about 20 feet off the cave floor. And the ceiling is around 25 feet high in this big cavern, but it's coming down to about 15 feet high as you continue south.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going then.
Okay. So you continue down the passage, everyone moving pretty quietly behind you. Go ahead and stop there.
Yep. That's where I was aiming for.
I need to actually get exploration activities from you, but for the moment, I'm going to assume you're all just searching. You're all keeping an eye out. But we'll check to see if you want to do something else in a moment.
Okay.
I think we're all stealthing.
Oh, well, that's true. You're all stealthing. That's
yeah.
true. Yeah. As you're walking down the passage, there are piles of guano all over the floor. And Aklep, as you're walking down this passage, you see very close to Zancath, you see something glitter on a pile of guano.
Ooh.
But Aklep says nothing.
Sure.
Shall I just keep going?
She's summoning the voice magic.
I just trying to figure out what it's exactly like. Just, I guess it could be dangerous. So, Aklep will go, what's her name again? Zandra.
No. Shh. Shh. And I point up.
And he points down at her feet where there's the glittering.
Do I now see whatever's glittering on the ground?
Yes. So as you look around, you see what looks like a small, dark vial. And you also notice on the wall next to you, there is the white outline of a hand with all the fingers pointing down the passage to the southwest. You also see, in fact, all of you, as you look around now, you see several jagged cracks run along the ceiling, and water drips through them, pooling on the ground. So there is a little bottle, a little vial of some kind, on the pile of bat guano next to you, and then you also see there are cracks in the ceiling and water dripping through them as you look down the passageway.
Okay. I'm gonna grab the vial and pocket it.
Okay. It's got some sort of dark liquid in it.
Okay. But I'm just gonna pocket it for now, since we're in a situation.
You're not going to shake it off or
Nope.
wipe it on the wall?
Nope.
No.
Nope. It's
Okay.
just going straight into my pocket.
Okay.
When I explode later, you'll all know why.
Okay. You are all continuing to stealth. You have basically reached the limit of where the bats are. You've started to pass them.
Can I, inspect the cracks in the ceiling?
Sure.
Or, I don't know what that would be.
I'm going to roll a perception check for you.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so Aklep looks at these cracks in the ceiling and the water dripping down, Yep, something about it makes you maybe feel a little nervous, but nothing looks immediately dangerous. You do see that there is some rubble just visible at the edge of your vision in Zancath's torchlight. There's some rubble on the ground.
Do we have anything to make a fire with? I have a tinder twig, but do we have...
You have a torch. You have a torch, you have tinder twigs, you have a fire elemental.
It's more
you
of
have plenty of things to start a fire with.
Yeah, it's more of the...
You need fuel.
Yeah, that. I don't think that I have anything on me. I'm going to look at the others and point to the fire on my torch, and then gesture questioningly to the ground.
What would make a lot of smoke?
Well, if someone wants to make a nature check, maybe I could give you an idea.
My stuff.
I'll go for a nature check.
Looking at his stuff.
Sure, I'll do that.
All right, make some nature checks.
Oh, I bet bat guano burns.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, bat guano will burn, although if it's kind of wet, it'll be difficult.
It's true.
You do know that the following has kindling, and if you were to start some of it burning and then add some wet stuff to it, it should make quite a gross, smoky mess.
So I got a 29 on my nature check.
Yeah.
What if I put some arrows down?
Well, arrows would work. It's just that they won't burn for long. There's just not a lot there. If you want to fill this giant cavern with smoke, you're going to need a lot of kindling.
Yeah, but we're already in here. Now we have to sneak back out.
I would just roll over those stealth checks. That's fine.
Oh, okay, cool. Can we say we go and get something to burn? Which would have been the logical thing to do before now, but here we are.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, we were scouting. Come on.
Yeah. You're scouting. I'll say that's fine. You take some time. Maybe you take an hour, head back to the following, grab some kindling, grab some firewood. Firewood is pretty scarce, right? I mean, out in the tundra, there aren't a lot of trees.
Sure.
But maybe they have some dried grass and other things that you could use, and you bring it back into the cave. You step carefully around all that ice. You make your way back to that same area, and you start setting it up, burning.
Yeah.
Great. So you start a fire here at the back of the cave, and it's really unpleasant. And in fact, it's really unpleasant even for you in here as this starts to fill the area with smoke. Of course, if you move back toward the entrance, the smoke is mostly staying near the ceiling, right? So it's a little bit easier to breathe there. And in fact, the bats don't like it at all, and they start squeaking and flapping out the cave. Some of them are heading to other parts of the cave, but most of them are flying out of the cave, even though it's daylight.
So this area is now mostly clear of bats?
Yes, it appears to be mostly free of bats.
Hey, nice job.
Excellent. That was a great idea. I suppose now we can take care of the stalactites in this area, though we might want to decide which direction the following will go before taking down stalactites.
Yeah, lots of these tunnels don't look very big at all. It's just really narrow.
Well, if you want to take the stalactites down, let me know how you plan to do it, and you'll make a check. You do know that if you're going to do it, it would be good to do it while the bats are not here.
Yeah, definitely. Gorgo takes out a long spear and pokes one. Is it like a loose tooth?
Well, they're 25 feet off the ground. I don't think your spear is that long, is it?
Oh, no.
Their base is 25 feet off the ground. Although if you want to try to use it...
Could have been riding that moose.
Yeah, too bad you don't have your moose. Is that what you want to do, though? You want to try to see if your spear could knock one down?
Yeah, Gorgo will take out a javelin, just throw it. What does it do?
In fact, the stalactite sort of rumbles a little bit, shakes, and as you're watching, it cracks run along the ceiling, and then it just crashes to the floor, exploding, shattering into 100 pieces. Which one were you targeting? The one right next to you?
Probably this one. The one right next to it. The furthest one back.
Yeah. So it doesn't hit you or cause any damage, but it does make a lot of noise.
So what you're saying is that it did work.
Yep. So it sort of worked. It's just that you didn't do it quietly. And it comes crashing down. It makes a big mess on the floor. But it doesn't really matter. The bats are gone.
Nice. See? It was a good idea. Okay. What about... Now I'm thinking... if there is something in here, we can use one of these as a trap. So maybe we should leave one up.
I suppose, but that could be a problem later when the bats are back or when the following comes through, but that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, we'll leave one. We'll just leave one up at least so we know where it is in case we want to knock one down.
Which one?
I think I'm going to say that first one near the front of the cave.
Okay. Now, do keep in mind that you need your mammoths to come through here at some point, and you want to
knock it down before we leave.
Okay.
Right, gang?
So you're going to go ahead and wreck the others. If you're not at all trying to be quiet or careful, I'm just going to say you can knock them down.
Unless we see a reason to be quiet. We made the bats leave with our fire magic, so...
Take advantage while the bats are gone.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. So you knock them down. Now what do you want to do? You can see that passage continues to the south. Does anyone want to look around at anything, or do you want to do any other kinds of checks? Is there anything else you're interested in, or do you want to change your exploration activities?
I would like to look around. You said that there was the handprint...
Yeah, on the wall.
Uh-huh. It's leading towards this tunnel towards the south.
Yes.
West, right?
Right.
Do we see any other handprints like that?
You don't see any other handprints like that. It looks like some sort of symbol or message or, marker.
Okay. But
you don't know what it means. You haven't seen one before. It looks like, cave art where someone would have some sort of white substance, and they'd put their hand on the wall and then spit around it, and it would leave the outline of a hand. That's what it looks like.
And the mammoths could fit in this tunnel to the southwest?
It looks like it would be a tight squeeze for them.
Okay.
Where you are right now, they could fit through. That area ahead of you to the southwest, it looks like that would be the too tight a squeeze for most mammoths, but maybe they could get through.
Okay.
What's up this ledge? Can we see over it?
You cannot. It is, it is 15 feet high. You could climb up it.
I don't think that I don't feel incredibly comfortable with this to the south for the following, what with the rubble on the ground. And it would be a tight squeeze anyway, so we can explore here, but I'm not confident that will be a good direction for the following.
Right. I mean, we should check it out. There's a hand telling us to go there.
Absolutely. But I don't think it should be our first stop.
Okay, let me Rongar, get over here. Let me get on your back. No, like that. No, never mind. I'm just gonna climb up. Nice try though. Corgo's gonna try to climb up the ledge and see.
Okay, make an athletics check.
Rolling at 26.
Good roll.
Corgo nimbly climbs up.
What's up here?
Clambering up that to area A8.
There's a strange symbol on the ground. I can't read it. It looks like that math that uses letters with numbers. That's so stupid.
Algebra. That's called algebra.
What? Why are there two types of math?
There's also geometry.
What is that?
Don't worry about it. It's not important.
Okay.
You reach the top of this ledge. There's a small chamber here. You can see that water is dripping down from the ceiling here. You're right up near the ceiling now. And it looks like as you're standing up here, you look down the passage. Actually, you can't really see any further down the passage from there. You find on this ledge some broken javelins and 10 iron arrows.
Oh, neat.
You're not sure what this means, why they're here, but there are a bunch of weapons on this ledge over the passage, including some iron arrows.
A bunch of broken javelins and some... Zanks, you need any more arrows?
Not particularly. Are they is there anything special about them, or are they just arrows?
Corgo picks one up and kind of flicks the tip of it, and he's like, I think they're just like regular metal.
If you want to assess them, you could do an Arcana, Occultism, Religion, or Nature check.
Corgo will do Nature but toss one down, see if anybody else knows any of that stuff. 24 in Nature, and he'll toss an arrow down for other people to look at. Is there anything special about these?
Yeah, Corgo, as you're playing with it, you realize these are cold iron.
Oh, I don't think these are regular. They're cold.
So these are cold iron arrows, which means they will be especially effective against some kinds of creatures.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll take those.
I rolled just to see if Aklep was like, well, everything's cold or not, but I think you got it.
Okay, Korgo will toss down the arrows, cold iron arrows. He doesn't need them. Anything cool about these broken javelins? Or are they just broken?
No, they're just broken wood.
I wonder what they were doing up here.
You know what? Make a society check.
Yeah, Korgo can't do that. 13. Untrained.
Yeah, you're not sure.
Okay, Korgo's thinks they were junkie hunters or something. He climbed back down.
Okay. So, again, you're in this passage. It continues to the south, where there's some rubble, and there's a ledge to the northeast of you, and there's a small passage to the northwest of you, and there's that large passage that went to the northeast when you first came in. Where do you want to go now?
We want to check out the small passage.
The one to the southwest or the one to the northwest?
The northwest.
Northwest.
The one I don't have to climb up on.
Okay. So Aklep walks back down the passage, past the rubble of the destroyed stalactites, and into the passage where he can't see anything because he doesn't have any light.
I do.
Oh, you do? You have a fire elemental with you now.
Yeah.
You know what? I should make the fire elemental emit light. Light radius. Let's say 15 feet of dim light. There we go. Aklep is walking down this passage. Stop. Don't keep walking.
Oh. I'm walking down the passage.
Yep. So you enter the tunnel to the northwest and immediately begin sloping upward, getting warmer as you go. Every 10 feet or so, there is a smear of slimy, transparent grease coating the walls. It smells sickly sweet. The passage continues bending around, first west, then, as you can see ahead of you, it starts to bend around to the south. Now, do you want to do anything with this grease, or is there anything you want to do before you continue walking forward?
Yeah, can I see if I recognize what that grease might be from? Like a nature check?
Make a crafting check or a nature check.
Ooh, can I do a crafting check?
Sure.
I'm trained now.
All right.
I got a 28. That's a natural 20.
Wow. Aklep, you also recognize what this is. So both of you recognize that this is a waterproof oil secreted by lagophers. Lagophers are semi-aquatic omnivores resembling dog-sized rabbits. They are social, playful, and territorial. And just as you're starting to look around and realize, oh, there's all this lagopher oil all over the walls, and your elemental is just standing there watching you, the air around the elemental starts to suddenly come ablaze as you realize that this oil is incredibly flammable and it explodes right next to you.
Cool.
And we'll see who survives this giant explosion next time.
This is so like PTSD for Aklep.
Oh no.
Thanks for listening to Broken Tusk Rising. You can help the podcast by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, by following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The House of Bob, or by chatting with us on Discord, and most of all, by supporting us on Patreon. That's at patreon.com/The House of Bob. This show is possible due to all our patrons who get special zines, one-shots, and commentary. Art for this campaign is by Sean Makes, and art for social media is by Jeanette. Audio production and music are by Mike. Thanks again for listening, and roll on. Ashley, let's keep your presence a secret for a little bit here until I reveal it toward the end. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, no!
Ashley.
Okay. I'm Aklep, and I'm scary.
Oh man.
We're doing our best.
Okay. Oh.
Oh gosh.
We can do next Sunday if I know I've played sick before, but I know My voice is a little extra shot now.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, it's a good thing he's the strong silent type.
You just don't say anything through this whole episode. It's
yeah,
fine.
just glare at people. When the age of lost omens began? When the
I like it. That's a good word.